Dun, 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 dun. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Tag Mixer Packages plugin series video. Hey, sorry for the last video was a little boring. I thought it was a little boring myself, honestly, because I don't like to just watch people building CSS and HTML and all that stuff. But unfortunately, we have to do that because this is a Let's Build Something Together series. I keep saying it's not a Let's Build because usually that means I've already built something, but this is a true Let's Build because I've built nothing. So you kind of have to see the boring housekeeping type stuff, I would call it. And that's what we had to do here. We had to just put together a page and make it do something cool. And I kind of wanted to explain a little bit more. Now, this video is going to be a little shorter because we're just doing two PHP things in here. First and foremost, we're going to be generating a random key. Now, here's the problem. Every Tag Mixer package name has to have a random key, and the key doesn't have to be super complicated or private or anything like that. It's not a big deal. However, it does need to be uniquely identifiable to each package in order to capture the variable on the send in and then show the proper information. This will all make sense when we get to it, unless you can already kind of see where it's going. Well, how do we accomplish that with every new package? Aha, there's a very easy way that I came up with, which is let's generate a random key that sits in this disabled text box every time this page is loaded, and it's always different, even if the user doesn't add anything. So that way, if they do choose to add a new package name, it has a unique key that gets added with it. Aha, right? Big brain move. And so that's what we're going to do here. So this is actually pretty simple to do in PHP, and we're going to pre-fill the form as the page loads. Yeah, you heard me right. So let's get right into that. So back in here, right where we left off, we were on the packages page here, and at the top, at the tippy top, right before the CSS includes, we have and before the style, let's go ahead and do some PHP. I'm going to do it separate of the top tag. Why, you ask? Because I'm just choosing to. I don't want to do it in the same one as the page's opening file stuff, which you can erase, get rid of. I'm just leaving it for the case of the GitHub because you guys are going to be looking in there. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to do something real simple here. We're going to start by making a length variable, and we're going to say length is equal to, how long do we want a random key? 12 characters? Let's make it 12 characters. And let's actually give this a comment, generate a random key for a new package. And even if the user doesn't save it, who cares? Because we don't care about that. So let's generate a random key. This is super easy. I think it's like 5 lines maybe, if I remember right. So we're going to make a variable called characters, and we're going to make the characters equal to everything on the computer. So I'll probably fast forward this part, but there we go. There's the numbers, and then we can add anything we want in here. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, W, X, Y, Z. All right, well, that was hard, wasn't it? And that's lowercase. Let's go ahead and do uppercase now. Okay, I think if I skipped it, I probably skipped that part of the video because why you guys want to sing the alphabet song? Nobody needs to see me do that. So let's say, how about characters length? And that's going to equal stir length, and that's getting the length of characters. So now we're getting the length of characters, and that's going to be stored in this. So it's going to get the length of this string. We can actually see it on the bottom of Visual Studio Code. It's 62 characters long. That's what this variable is going to equal. And then we need to say the randomizer. Let's just call it the randomizer. And the randomizer is going to equal nothing, but the randomizer is about to contain our finished randomized string. So how do we do that? Well, we make a quick for, and we say I equals 0. So we're creating I as our counter. We're going to make it go to I while I is less than length, because we need to do that. And every time this loop goes in a circle, I want you to add 1. Easy enough. That's all this for statement's doing. It's saying I equals 0. I need you to run as long as I is less than length, and every time you come back around, increment I by 1. Simple enough, right? So it's going to go in a circle until it equals 12. Well, now we need to write the actual code of what it's going to do. Randomizer is what we're going to add to, and we're going to say randomizer equals, actually we're going to append to it, so that's a little different. We're going to say equals. That's dot equals, and that's an appending statement. And we're going to say characters, and then we're going to open up an array type parameter, and we're going to create a rand. And this is a built-in PHP randomizer. It's going to get a random, it generates a random integer, which is really strange because computers actually don't know how to generate anything random. So It's kind of a paradox. And we need to get, it's asking for the maximum it can generate, and then it's we're going to give it the character's length minus 1. So let's quickly just see what's happening here. This is already going to do it, by the way. So we set a length of 12. That's a length we selected. We could set that as 15, 16, 17. We could actually make this an option in the settings and have a user set it too if we wanted to very easily. And then we say the characters we want to mix. And you could mix anything in here. You could go special characters if you want, anything you want. Characters length equals this, getting the length of the characters. In this case, it's going to get a count of 62. Yeah, see, because it's 62 right here, so that's the count. And so that's going to equal 62. Randomizer equals nothing. It's going to say for I equals 0 to the length plus plus. So it's going to circle 12 times, and it's going to say each time the randomizer variable is going to append or concatenate characters. So it's getting a string from characters by opening up this. It's going to dive into characters, and it's going to grab starting from 0 to the length of characters minus 1. So it'll always be inside the count minus 1. It's always going to be going in there and finding a random character to generate. So it's going to say random has to be between 0 and 62 or 61. And it's going to say, because remember, programming starts at 0 when it creates an array. So that's going to be inclusive of this, all these characters. And it's going to say random, random, random between their 12. So it's going to grab the character at 12, store it in the randomizer, circle, store the next one, circle, store the next one, circle, do it 12 times until it has a randomized string. So now what do we do below? Well, down here in our collapse, where we have that set up, remember this disabled box right here? Well, we're going to output the value in the value right here. So we need to say PHP. I need to just like hook up an ergonomic keyboard to this externally. Oh man. All right. There we go. Man, it's like a miracle. I did it. And then we're going to echo, and we're going to echo, yep, you probably guessed it, randomizer. Perfect. So let's go back and see what happens. If we did everything right, we broke nothing. Aha. Look at our package key. Let's refresh again. Aha, see what's happening here? Now, why do I have it like this? So the user can't modify it. It's creating a set package key type for each package. So every time we refresh it, it just keeps generating new key, new key, new key, new key, new key. Now, this unique key is going to be one of our variables we capture. So when we're sending in traffic from a certain source, say like I have the Home Depot, or like Facebook would probably be more likely, we can send, instead of saying just the word Facebook through, which our software wouldn't know what to do with, instead we send the package key through and as a get variable. And so when our software or our plugin sees that get key on the page where the plugin is active, it'll say, hey, is the key equal to this package's key? Oh, it is. Hey, is that the predefined traffic source? Oh, it is. Right? Then it says, oh, good. So then it has two matches, and then it just shows the information. If not, it doesn't show the information. Does that seem straightforward? I sure hope so. Let's now do this part. Let's fix this part here where it's predefined traffic sources are being shown. That's pretty easy too. So down here in the select option is just option 1 right now. Here's where we need to make some magic happen and actually output some stuff. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to actually steal some code from our other general settings page because we already did something like this, right? Remember on that other page how if the we grab the keys, and if they equal nothing, we output no source keys created, and if otherwise it puts the keys out. Well, guess what we can do? We can pretty much take that code almost as it sits, and we just have to do very light modification to it. So let's drop that in here, and now it's going to gather the keys the same way it's doing it from the other one, like I said, which is pretty good for what we're doing here. So it's grabbing all of those source keys, and it's coming in, and it's going to display them the same way, except for if there is no posts, then what we need to do is we need to just output nothing, because I'm going to show you why in a second, because we're actually going to create one solid item outside of this that always appears. So we'd have to create option, and I don't care about the value in this particular case, and I want to say all sources, and I want to make this the default, and this is going to be set so that if the user sets no source, it's just going to show this package on any page where it gets the matching unique key identifier. Okay? So let's go ahead and check that out. And that's it. See, now we have all sources default. So if the user created like a it's not Facebook. This would be like a package name, right, and not a source name. So, and I'll show you why that makes sense in a little while. I mean, the thing is, if you think about it, like if the traffic came from Facebook, but it came from a particular page, that's what you'd do here, right? You'd have Facebook as the source, the page as the identifier, and then that would show the information. So let's go back into our settings page now, and let's set up a new. So we have no source keys. Let's just make a Facebook key like before, and let's give it a source key. Let's add the source key. Now it's added in. Let's head back to our tag mixer packages page, and you're going to see Facebook, right? Glory, there it is. And no problem. So now we can go Home Depot, custom package. So in this case, we'd say like, you know, this is going to be a Home Depot page, it's going to be coming from Facebook, so I want to be able to show a particular set of variables, and then let's grab Facebook. And when we save this new tag mixer package, it's going to save these variables as a new custom post that contains the name of the package key, and the predefined source. And we're going to use metadata for this, and that's going to take care of the variable on the front end where it's going to be able to check and say, does the traffic source equal FB name? It does. Is the package key being sent equal to this package key? It is. Then the user needs to activate, or then we need to activate these tag mix package settings, which would be like change images to this, change colors to this, change the word from all words, case of word, store from that to Home Depot. Change, you see what I'm saying? Is it coming more clear now what's going to actually happen in this plugin? It's going to be pretty awesome, actually. It's going to rock, and that's what we needed to do. All right, so I think I'm going to go ahead and end this right here because we're pretty close to 10 minutes. So in this one, we went ahead and created a let's just recap real fast. We created a very simple random key generator. You can do whatever you want in here. This is really simple, and it outputs a unique one every time the page loads. That takes care of our package problem of anytime the user wants to create a new package, a random key is generated. And it's going to be very, very small chance it overlaps. I mean, almost none. We could do a error check if we want, like when a user goes to save it, it checks to see if this is already contained in the database and then won't allow it. It'll make them do it again, or generate a new one and do it for them, something like that. Because they don't even care about this. They do a little bit because they do have to know it, I guess. But anyway, that's what we did there. And then down below, we went ahead and added in the same code from our other page to generate a list of our predefined sources, so we could select it and save it. In the next video, I think what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and make this active. We're going to add a new custom post to handle our new tag mixer packages. And you know, guys, we're well on our way to actually this thing working in the front end of the site. And this isn't really a super complicated plugin. It'll actually be pretty simple. I've been doing a lot of thinking about how I want to add the packages. I kind of want to create a helper that helps the user like change images, like common things they would change. Images, text, font size, colors, etc., etc. And then it also has a spot where they can enter their own code, a custom code they want to be outputted on this page, and that'll be way more versatility. So like it'll help them write it, but also they can post their own. And I think that's the best way to go about it. Otherwise it's going to take us way too long because we're going to have to like account for so many options. But I think, like I said, I'm going to make a helper that says, do you want to change, like a drop down, like do you want to change an image background? Yes. Or you'll select like it'll be a thing that says I want to, and then it will say change image background, and it'll say, okay, you select that from the drop down, and then it says what's the ID of the item and what's the URL of the image, and then it will add the code for you, or something like that. I've been thinking about it, like I said, because we are building this together. But hey, so we now have a good add new package page. Edit is going to be just editing the name of an existing one and its predefined source, and then the current tag mixer package is going to have all the settings for that. And like I said, we're going to use post meta like we did in our YouTube plugin for this as well. So hey, once again, if you guys aren't subscribed, you specifically, yeah, you, hey, subscribe, will you? And if you, yeah, you are already subscribed, I really appreciate you. I'm on my way to 350, almost 400 subs, and that feels really good. I'm really excited to make it to 500. I remember when I had like a thank you for the 100, and I'm pretty happy to be at 300 and I think 30 as of right now. But anyway, I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one where we just keep on cranking on this thing.